Thank you, Matthew, for the glowing review. Let me know which faculty member I should be thanking. Before we get started, I have my speech ready, and I noticed and realized that I made a generous assumption with this speech. Mr. Moriarty, I assume that all the students this evening in attendance are in good standing and good for graduation tomorrow. Is that correct? I'm getting a thumbs up. Okay. All right, very well. So with that administrative note out of the way, good evening, class of 2024. Let me be the first one to congratulate you. You finally made it to the finish line. The day you thought that never would be here is finally here. Mr. Bruningson called me several months ago and asked if I would deliver the parents' speech. And honestly, I was a bit hesitant. You see, he was my physics teacher my junior year here, which was also his first year at Kiski. If my performance in his class is any indication on how well I'll deliver this speech, we might be in for a rocky road here. Buckle up. Ultimately, I really couldn't say no, as he still has access to my academic records. I let my wife Molly know about the good news. By the overdramatic sigh, she was apparently already regretting Mr. B's decision. She asked me how long the speech needed to be, and I told her it was supposed to be around 5 to 10 minutes. She just shook her head in disbelief and started walking away. She said, "For God's sakes, please just don't stand up there and lecture these poor boys for 10 minutes. So, based on her advice, I'm going to stand up here, I'm going to lecture you for the next 10 minutes. I reasoned that if it's anything like home, no one's going to be paying attention anyways. A few years ago, before sending my two oldest sons to Kiski, I would ask them if they had any interest in applying to it. After one such year, they correctly noted and asked, "Dad, how come you only talk about your time and friends at Kiski or in the Marines?" My initial response was, because those experiences had the biggest positive impact on me that I wouldn't trade for the world. But I thought specifically, what about those experiences made it so? On the face of it, the two couldn't be more different. But I thought about it and realized there are some strong similarities. For example, both institutions pull from kids all over the country from different social, economic, religious, and political backgrounds. The second similarity is this is the first time away from home from a lot of kids for an extended amount of time. Marines have world famous drill instructors. Kiski have Mr. Bonds and Mr. Servit. Marines have barracks. Kiski had Clark Hall. For those of you that aren't aware, Clark Hall is a gaudy, off-yellow, cinder block monstrosity. Think of Howard Johnson Hotel circa 1970s. It was as warm and welcoming to us students as the door parrots that ran it. Right, Mr. O? Here's the most important part in summation. In moments of physical and mental hardship, pressure, boredom, solitude, and through both individual and group victories and defeat, both organizations force individuals to examine who they are and to bond with those sharing in those same experiences. You won't find this at most places. We are all in this together. No exceptions, no hiding, and nothing but the best is expected from you at all times. I will say with a large degree of certainty, this will probably be the last time all the class of 2024 is on this campus as one. After college, some will go on for additional schooling, whether it be medical, law, or business school. Some will be in the armed services. Some will be married with a family and won't be able to make it back to campus. Fortunately or unfortunately, from here, life just gets faster paced and much, much busier. I have a small request, class of 2024. Do not let these become excuses for not keeping in touch with each other or for coming back to visit Kiski. Make time to come back to campus. Visit the places where so many good memories were made. Visit with your classmates in person. Stay connected with the teachers and staff. Stay engaged with Kiski. Relish in your experiences here. I heard a few stories about your class where the sources will remain anonymous and the names withheld to protect the innocent. The soap pod battle in McCall Hall and the subsequent cleanup. The unsanctioned winter boxing matches in the wrestling room. Boys, did we not see Fight Club or remember the first rule of Fight Club? Not to talk about Fight Club. The late night CD poker games in Dobb and Vallejos Hall. Haircuts in the bathroom of Hogue Hall. The memories from the first COVID class. And disappointingly, apparently, the first class to lose this spring softball game to the Kiski staff. Last fall, I had the pleasure to listen to the president of Catawba College welcome my oldest son's freshman class to school. He said something that really stuck with me. In a nutshell, he said, give or take, we have about 200 weeks of college. Enjoy them. Take advantage of them and appreciate them. I'm sure most of you agree, looking back on your time here has gone very quickly, whether it be 1 year or 4 years. Enjoy the next 200 weeks, but don't forget about these last 200. Who knows, in a short 33 years, one of you might be up here delivering a similar speech, wondering where the time has gone. Over the last several years, I've gotten to know a lot of the current staff, teachers, and coaches. I've been very impressed. Kiski is in terrific hands. On behalf of the class of 2024, I wanted to extend an enormous thank you to you for your hard work, dedication for and to these boys. If this class was anything like mine, I'm sure you had to push, pull, and even drag some of them to this point. However, I know they are all well prepared for their futures. Parents of the class of 2024, thank you for everything that you have provided and sacrificed for your Kiski boys. They have undoubtedly made you proud. Continue to expect great things from them. I see my wife down there giving me the wrap it up, which means my time is almost up here. People often ask me why I went to Kiski. A part of me always thought it was because I wasn't realizing my potential and I needed a smaller place to grow personally, socially, athletically, and academically. As Matthew astutely pointed out, I don't know how well Kiski did for me academically, but I'll take 3 out of 4, which coincidentally probably reflects my academic record anyways. I held on to this belief for years. It wasn't until a few years ago, I was talking to a friend and through a casual conversation that came up that I went to a boarding school. With such conviction and confidence, he said, oh, you got kicked out of the house. And I was kind of horrified. I'd never thought I'd been kicked out of the house. So I wanted to give a moment to my mom to come up and maybe clear the air. She's shaking her head. Yeah. We'll talk. Okay. So for the most of you who don't know my mom, she just said, yes, you got kicked out, but I'm not going to admit it in front of all of you. Well, Mom, regardless of the reason, I appreciate that all that you and Dad have done for me. I will take being kicked out of the house to attend Kiski as a good miss that I'll appreciate forever. Thank you. Class of 2024, welcome to the starting line of life. Keep in touch and take care of each other. See you at your 5th year reunion. Thank you.